Ruth Miller sat by the window of her small apartment, watching as the city lights flickered on one by one. At 80, she had always prided herself on her independence. But over the past year, she had begun to notice subtle shifts. Climbing stairs took longer. Her favorite armchair felt harder to rise from. Grocery bags seemed heavier than before. The worst were the leg cramps in the middle of the night, sudden and sharp, leaving her breathless and shaken. Her doctor, a kind young woman named Dr. Fields, had given her a thorough checkup last month. "You're doing better than many, Ruth," she had said. "But you're experiencing sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. It's common after 60, but it doesn't have to be inevitable. There's something simple you can do every night to help your muscles stay strong." Ruth had listened carefully. Dr. Fields had explained that during sleep, the body's natural repair processes go to work, and muscles that were used during the day had a chance to rebuild. But if they weren't activated, the body assumed they weren't needed and let them atrophy. Before bed, spend just 10 minutes on a simple routine, she had said. You'll sleep better, and you'll wake up with your muscles feeling more ready for the day. That night, Ruth had stood uncertainly in her living room, the television playing softly in the background. She felt a little foolish, but she remembered Dr. Fields' words and decided to try. She started with a set of slow, deliberate chair squats. She placed her hands lightly on the arms of her sturdy chair and lowered herself to sit, then rose back to standing, focusing on her thighs and glutes. She did 10 repetitions, her knees creaking slightly but holding steady. Next, she moved to the wall for a set of wall push-ups. She placed her palms flat against the cool surface, leaned in, and pressed herself back. Her arms trembled a little, but she completed 10 push-ups. Her heart was beating a bit faster, and she felt an unfamiliar warmth in her upper arms. Finally, she balanced near the back of her chair and lifted herself onto her toes, holding the position for a few seconds before lowering her heels. 10 times, steady and controlled. She imagined the muscles in her calves firing, holding, and releasing. When she finished, Ruth felt a surprising sense of satisfaction. It wasn't much, but it was something. She went to bed and, for the first time in weeks, slept through the night without waking from a cramp. Over the next few nights, Ruth made the routine her own. She set a gentle alarm on her phone for 9 p.m., a reminder to pause whatever she was doing and move. She added a few stretches, reaching overhead to elongate her spine, twisting gently from side to side. Her movements became smoother, her balance improved. As the days turned into weeks, Ruth noticed small but significant changes. Getting out of her chair became easier. She no longer hesitated at the top of the stairs. Her arms felt stronger, her legs steadier. The deep fatigue she had grown accustomed to seemed to lift, replaced by a subtle, persistent vitality. Her friend Helen visited one afternoon and noticed the change immediately. "You're glowing, Ruth," she said, sipping tea at the kitchen table. "What's your secret?" Ruth laughed softly. "It's not a secret, really. Dr. Fields told me to do a short exercise routine before bed. Just 10 minutes. Chair squats, wall push-ups, calf raises, a little stretching. It's made all the difference." Helen leaned in, curious. "I thought exercise was for the daytime. Doesn't it make it harder to fall asleep?" "Actually, it's the opposite," Ruth said. "These movements are gentle enough that they don't wake me up, but just enough to signal to my body that I still need these muscles. And it helps me sleep better because my muscles aren't cramping in the night." Helen looked thoughtful. "I've been waking up with leg cramps too. Maybe I'll give it a try." Encouraged by her own progress and by sharing it with Helen, Ruth became more creative. She found a resistance band in a drawer and added light bicep curls to her evening routine. She experimented with balancing on one leg while brushing her teeth. She read articles about the benefits of gentle evening movements and learned that activating large muscle groups before sleep could increase overnight muscle protein synthesis. One evening, Ruth stood at the window again, watching the city lights. She thought of how easy it had been to accept her aches and weaknesses as inevitable. But now she knew better. She had taken small steps, literally and figuratively, to reclaim her strength and confidence. Her muscles were no longer vanishing quietly into the night. They were being reminded every evening that they were needed. And in return, they carried her through her days with greater ease and grace. Ruth's routine became a cherished ritual, a gift she gave herself before bed. 10 minutes, just for her. 10 minutes that meant her legs could still carry her up the stairs, her arms could still lift the kettle, and her heart could still feel strong. And as she turned out the light and settled into bed, her muscles hummed with quiet satisfaction, ready to rebuild and carry her forward into another day.